If you tell me a username, I can start the game.
I see 5-5. 5-3 isn't coming up. We'll just do that.
Okay.
Let's see. Perfect. Nope.
Boom.
I did not get who I wanted, but this is okay. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We got a 16. All right, so I'm going to say knight.
I like it.
All right, look at that. We are off as a team. Okay, we're going to say pawn. Please move the right pawn. Please move the pawn I want. Nimzo. That's what I'm talking about, boy. Okay, we're going to do pawn again.
Pawn again. Let's see. I'm going to do this pawn.
Okay, solid. Queen's Indian style chess here is what we
got coming. Exactly, you know.
Bishop coming to that diagonal. So I'm going to say bishop. All right.
So far, so solid.
So far, so good. I'm not cringing about anything. Just kidding. All right, so now I'm going to say pawn again. And I know you know what I want. This is where we really test our relationship, John. This is like that game you just totally failed. We just got a divorce over that move.
I failed? No.
All right. I'm going to say bishop now. Bishop.
Okay.
We're going to back up and take a look at the games, everybody. Have some fun diving into the positions. Do something educational. But
I failed already.
You've played two moves that weren't my favorite, but that doesn't mean. But what's that game you play where it's like apples to apples? What is the game where like your girlfriend tries to guess what you're doing? All right, I'm gonna say king. Okay, right. So there we go.
I mean, I was thinking about like king e7, but
right. I mean, that's
better judgment.
That's a candidate move, certainly, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we've got our king safe. This is not exactly a Nimzo structure. I was hoping for C and not the D pawn, but again, we're going to back up and look at that. I'm trying to provide too much of that here because really we want to win, all right? We know you and I are here to entertain and educate, but ultimately we're both competitors. All right, I am going to say pawn. Me likey. Me likey.
There we go. Making progress.
Now I'm going to say knight. A lot of knight options here. So I know you do what you feel is right.
Okay.
Not that you ever don't do what you feel is right. John Urschel's username is Winston297, though we will be fixing that soon, and John's name will just be John Urschel because he's that big of a celebrity. You guys need to have an easier time finding him.
Don't let Danny lie to you.
You know what? You're rebuilding a new career here, but you got a good head start. All right, so okay. I'm going to say knight and hope that you're thinking.
Well, I'm not going to blunder.
I'm hoping you're thinking what I'm thinking. It might be a blunder. Usually what I'm thinking is a blunder.
I'm not thinking what you're thinking, but I'm not going to blunder here.
Okay. I'm going to say knight.
Okay.
And we're going to learn just how bad we are at this game.
Okay. I'm going to say we're very bad.
It's kind of a key knight move I need here.
Okay.
Okay. So that was less than ideal.
That is extremely less than
blundered
ideal.
A piece. So the move I wanted there was knight e4 to sort of slow down the attack and put a pony in the middle of the board.
Yeah, so this is clearly resignable now.
It's less than ideal. Yeah.
Much less than ideal.
Much less than ideal, yeah. But okay, I'm going to let you we can play on or resign. It's your call.
I think this is highly resignable right now.
I don't disagree.
All right, the first one was a failure.
Okay, so this is great, actually. Now I know we're really up for a challenge. I enjoy this. So let's back up and take a quick look, everybody. If you're just getting here, thanks for tuning in. The Amateur Hour show today is a hand and brain special. The stronger player starting out, I'm going to say the move or the piece, that's the brain. John has to use his hand to guess what it is. We're going to try to play as high quality chess as we can. But mainly we're engaging with you guys, the members. So we're going to be looking for usernames in the chat rooms, whether that's on Twitch or chess.com TV. Go ahead.
Me allowing challenges is not going well from what I'm hearing from the chat.
I think you have some sort of specific settings. So what I'm going to do is, I think you set up your settings to like not take different players or something. So I'll look for a username in Chess TV that says they want to play, and I'll just start the game.
It says I can take challenges from everybody.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe you have some sort of specific time control or something. Anyway, let's back up real quick. We're clicking through the moves now, and so this is nothing wrong with this in Nimzo, but he's played a London, right? So one of the things that I'm going to highlight.
Hold on now. Can you, if you're doing an analysis, can you invite me at least?
Yeah. Let's do that. Hold on.
Yeah, don't leave me out of the party now. Come on now.
Yeah, I actually didn't even have an analysis board up. I was just kind of clicking through the moves. That was all. But let me do that. Let me get an analysis board up. Okay. We will call this Amateur Hour, since that's what it is. And we will call this Amateur Hour is what we're going to do.
Jeb 2012, I think if you just say me like 1,000 more times, we'll definitely pick you.
Yeah.
So I think you're just not saying me enough.
Right. No, that usually makes sense. Is if you say we enough, if you say me enough, then you get their attention because they didn't see it before, right?
Oh, now I'm getting. No, now people want to be friends with me. That's not. I'm still not getting game invites. That's okay.
People want to be friends with you, man. You're a popular guy. All right. Let me get this baby going here, since we're kind of changing up the game here a little bit. All Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. So I'm going to invite you to this analysis board. Look for that.
Okay, let's do it. I think the good news here is I've definitely proved in this first game I am in fact an amateur.
Right. Well, did you get that analysis invite?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Here comes the game. Okay, what you are is you're an aspiring master. That's the way to say amateur. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So here's the first thing. When you face a London, even if are you a Nimzo player like I am by trade?
Well, the way you say like Nimzo player implies that like I actually play something, which I feel like you more or less know that I don't.
Right. I know you're an endgame specialist, not an openings guy at this point.
I'm not an endgame specialist, but I study like 0 openings.
This was totally good. And so I said knight, you move knight. I said pawn, you move pawn. Now here I said pawn. My initial intention with pawn was actually to play c5. But even after that, the more critical moment, if we jump ahead to this position here after bishop d3, when I said pawn here, the critical thing to understand about the London is white's attacks are most successful when they can fully grip this square on e5 without some sort of challenge. So when I said pawn, the pawn again I was hoping for is c5. This is a much more dynamic way to face a London system. So when white does what it does, I mean either c3 or castles, you develop the bishop. Basically, play's going to continue similar to what we just did, except a big difference is that you haven't committed the pawn to d5.
Gotcha.
The main advantage of that is that, well, for one, you can play d6 if ever need be to make sure that white isn't dominating the square. The second thing is that, the open diagonal here for the bishop on b7, depending on how the middle game goes, is also a very good way for black to kind of challenge. Because if white gets all the moves white wants, it's knight d2, queen e2, e4, e5, create a battery on this diagonal, bring the queen up, and Bob's your uncle on h7. This is like the London system on steroids, right? This is what they want. So the reason you want to maintain flexibility, again, what we did here was actually, this is okay. I mean, this is not the end of the world in terms of like, okay, it's not the best line for black, not my favorite, but it is playable. One of the things that perhaps I should have suggested here, well, I did say knight, and after I did, I was curious if you were going to move the other knight, because the other option, before things get too crazy for you on the king side, is to move the knight into e4 immediately. Bringing the knight into e4 does two things. It's not just about offering a trade and blocking this diagonal. It's also about threatening a move in the center that will disrupt white's setup. What move do you think that is for black?
Let's see. A move, can't you just play f5 perhaps in some lines?
F5 is one move, especially if you actually get to keep that control, but F5 is probably not recommended if, okay, let's say white does something and you play F5. If they can maintain flexibility, once they kick that knight out, you end up kind of regretting F5 because it's only a matter of time before they manufacture E4 and all of these light squares start to open up around the king side.
The diagonal gets opened anyway.
So rather, really what you're trying to do is f6 to just kick the knight.
Gotcha.
And this works because as long as you've maintained this sort of grip in the center, they're not going to checkmate you after this, right? You're going to be able to make a trade. You can play some natural. Or sorry, here your knight's actually under fire, so maybe you actually wouldn't even make a trade, just kind of maintain the tension, sit on the position, or maybe trade this knight. Actually, yeah, that looks even better.
Gotcha.
The more minor pieces you can get off the board, the less of a chance you get mated against a London system as black. So, quick review of this game, because we do want to play some more hand and brain games, and I see a lot of people screaming me, not just the not just the guy you.
Wait, how do I? Someone's asking how to block someone, and I really wish I knew how to do that too.
Right, you guys, come on, don't spam the. We're gonna get you, all right. So, but real quick summary. We have a potential for a Nimzo. They play a London. As soon as this sort of move is played in a game, John, alarm bells go off. You don't want to give them dominant control over the center dark squares, okay? There are a number of ways to do that. We can do exactly the move order we did and just play d6 even directly. You can do the exact move order we did and play something like bishop e7 and maintain complete and total flexibility in the center where you just don't know which move you want to play. But the number one goal should be not giving them a complete grip on the dark squares. But again, even after what we did, once you've committed to that, ideally speaking, you're not gonna let them just continue to build on the attack. Knight f3, knight g5, bishop on this diagonal. At some point, this is sort of a common kind of throw a wrench into the middle of the center. Pardon the pun from my last name. And then I've always been a tool. LOL. You just want to put a knight in the center to slow down the attack. So, okay, game one done. After what you did, you played knight c6, which was fine. But then when I said knight, the knight move I was suggesting it was actually knight e8 now, or knight e4, either one of these. And noted should be for the fans at home that knight e8 does not lose to the Greek gift sacrifice because at the end of this line, black can bring the knight back to f6. So always be aware that if the f6 square is still available, the Greek gift doesn't work. So I said knight move, and I said it was a key knight move. I was hoping you were going to play either knight e4 or knight e8. Either one of those would have been okay.
Gotcha.
All right. You feeling okay about this? This is fun.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do another.
All right, I'm going to look for some usernames in the Twitch chat room starting now. So all the usernames that have been screaming, as soon as I say starting, that's when the username that matters. I'm going to look for a username in the Twitch room and in the chess.com TV room. As soon as I get one, the game will start. Tell me your username on chess.com, and you will get a match up against Mr. John Urschel.